It is very likely that the soldiers of Mustafa Kemal are ready to step out of democracy. It is also natural to characterize them as future coup plotters. Atilla Yayla evaluated the events that took place during the graduation ceremony of the Turkish Military Academy. Yayla associated the alternative swearing-in ceremony carried out by young lieutenants with coups. The author stated that Kemalist thought was behind the coups in Turkey and that this event had a similar line. Atilla Yayla stated that such actions tend to go beyond democracy. In his article in Türkiye newspaper, Yayla stated the following. Atilla Yayla evaluated the events that took place during the graduation ceremony of the Turkish Military Academy. Yayla associated the alternative swearing-in ceremony organized by young lieutenants with coups. The author stated that Kemalist thought was behind the coups in Turkey and that this incident had a similar line. Atilla Yayla stated that such actions tend to go beyond democracy. In his article in Türkiye newspaper, Yayla stated the following. Default text: there was an interesting incident last week. At the graduation and swearing-in ceremony of the Land Warfare School of the National Defense University, a group of graduates, new lieutenants, acted on their own and put on a show outside the official program. They drew swords and took a separate oath. The text of the oath was as follows. I swear that any hand that reaches for the independence of the secular democratic Republic of Turkey, the indivisible integrity of the country, the honor and dignity of the great Turkish nation, and an inch of soil of the beloved homeland will find us. Our swords will always be sharp and ready. We are the sons of the Turkish future. We were born with honor. We will live with honor and we will die with honor. Blessed is he who calls himself a Turk. The oath-takers then shouted, We are the soldiers of Mustafa Kemal. This separate oath is outside the boundaries of the official ceremony. In a military ceremony, where everything is done under the chain of command and must be in accordance with the official program, the newly graduated lieutenant's courage and inclination to do such a thing was probably at the request and with the support of some of their superiors. This matter must be investigated. The text of the oath is routine. The relationship between some of the things said in this oath, such as protecting democracy and being a soldier of Mustafa Kemal, is very controversial. Kemal was a political leader who had nothing to do with democracy. During his reign, democracy did not progress. On the contrary, it regressed. The democratic elements and civil society that existed were largely purged. It is therefore a conceptual contradiction to advocate for democracy by referring to Mustafa Kemal. A group of people, including myself, called the participants of this demonstration future coup plotters. Others disagreed with this labeling and argued that what was being done was normal. Among the objections was that labeling these young soldiers as coup plotters was unfair to both Mustafa Kemal and the new lieutenants. A prominent academic suggested in a social media message that those who made this characterization should get rid of the trauma of the coup. Unfortunately, Turkey is a country of coups. Although the bureaucratic tutelage has recently been significantly reduced, especially thanks to Erdogan's efforts, this does not mean that the tutelage mentality has completely disappeared and the danger of coups is forever in the past. It can also be said that continuous coups have traumatized people. For example, center-right leaders lived and practiced politics with the constant fear of a coup d'etat and eventual hanging in their minds. I see no reason to doubt that this fear is still alive. It is certain that Kemalists have been behind all the military interventions and coups that have ever taken place in Turkey. Coups have always been carried out and legitimized in the name of Mustafa Kemal, and it was the Kemalist masses who readily supported the coup plotters. So much so that even FET tried to give the July 15th coup a Kemalist color to take advantage of this ready support for the coup. The putschists presented themselves as the Peace at Home Council in the manifesto they read on TRT, a name reminiscent of Kemal. It was partially successful. The July 15th coup attempt was supported in areas where Kemalists live in large numbers. Although there may be a few exceptions, it is very likely that those who claim to be soldiers of Mustafa Kemal are ready to go beyond democracy. It is natural to characterize them as future coup plotters.